Hey, how we doing? Looking forward to speaking to Sunil. This has been in the works for some time. Eventually, we're making it happen today. The anticipation is building and will finally be realized. If there's anybody who knows anything about vibrations, it's got to be Sunil Osman. He is an actor, MC, radio presenter, but most notably today, a master Reiki practitioner. This is something that is going to be quite an interesting topic of conversation, I tell you. Sunil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and also thank you for this really lovely ambient music in the background. I feel like I might break out into meditation or cleansing right now.
Would you like to? We can go right ahead. Yeah. You'll just have to guide me through that. I'm sure you are very, very well versed in that respect. So, Sunil, we're, of course, getting to know you as a master Reiki practitioner. I read up a little bit about you, and your life itself before you became a Reiki practitioner is quite interesting. You have quite the journey that's led you to this moment. Let's touch on that a little bit, because I read mentions of unexplained energies and forces, and I was like, this is getting a little creepy, it's a little scary, you know what I'm saying? Because these are the kind of things, I had like horror movie images coming to mind when I read that, but perhaps you can explain best for us.
Yeah, so yes, the horror movie images is kind of accurate.
Really?
But only because I wasn't aware of what was happening.
Okay.
Once you become aware of those things, it doesn't scare you anymore. It just becomes, okay, you want to do this through me? Let's do this.
All right.
The first instance that comes to mind is when I was very young. I was walking down the passageway and I felt something grab me on my shoulder.
What?
And it was actually a spiritual entity, if I can say that wanted to be released and chose me as that vessel to be released through.
Okay.
And that's actually more or less around the same time I first encountered Reiki itself.
All right.
Going to Reiki practitioners.
Yeah.
I didn't really click until a good couple of years ago, but my grandfather, from my father's side, my paternal grandfather, he was actually a healer himself.
Oh.
And I always wondered, what was he doing in the hospital beds when he was looking like he was pulling something out from somebody's body? And when he passed on, I just suddenly got an immediate wave of energies coming through and seeing things or feeling things a bit more, which was a bit weird for me at the time. Because by that time, the social conditioning was there, and I was like, no, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where you just go, you know what? I can't stop believing this stuff anymore.
All right.
It's real.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. And what was the next step from then on? When you came to grips with it, you accepted it, you weren't denouncing it as per the social conditioning you had received at the time. What was the next step you took there?
Well, the steps didn't happen overnight.
Okay.
I mean, it's been about a 20-year journey for me, because there was lots of denial, like, no, I don't want to do this, or no, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
And that is because I wasn't ready. I hadn't unlearned things. I was still trying to figure my own life out. I'm not an innocent. I've been through my things. I'm sitting here as having a human experience.
Yeah.
So I'm still got my things. I mean, I still do the things which normal humans do.
Yes.
And I've got a history as well. So there was a lot of that. So it wasn't about taking a step. It was about exploring who I am and finding my purpose.
Yeah.
And what I realized over my life thus far, for this lifetime, is that I had embraced my purpose many times before, but I wasn't aware, and my level of consciousness wasn't there enough to actually fully embrace it.
Okay.
And when you fully embrace it, it's like, okay, this is why I make stupid little videos on TikTok. Oh, this is why I send random tweets. Oh, this is why everybody speaks to me. Not just because I'm an empath, but because I'm actually healing. I mean, we don't realize it. Being a radio presenter, playing music, writing, doing all these things is healing, because everybody has a healing ability. Just not enough people embrace it.
Okay.
So the steps were many years. But then a good couple of years ago, I met a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in about probably 8 or 9 years before that. And she had actually embraced the Reiki journey herself.
All right.
She's a Lighterian Reiki master, and I've got my entire life that is now as an honor and like gratitude towards her.
Okay.
And I know that she's listening right now, and her name is Shanaz, and we call her Girl with Reiki Rays.
Shout out Shanaz.
Yeah, shout out to Shanaz. And she just sent me a random message one day, and I was just going for just a Lighterian journey, which is another another radio interview altogether.
Okay.
But you go back and you deal with things that are like with regards to your shadow work, which is going to the demon sides of you,
my gosh.
learning to love every aspect of it. And I went through this, and she got me remembering about me going to a Reiki practitioner one day, and this Reiki practitioner was busy, and I was starting to tell her what needs to be done to my body. And this Reiki practitioner said to me, maybe one day you will be a Reiki practitioner. And at that age, in like 1998 or something, whatever, crazy lady with airy fairy stuff. No. So when she got me reminded about this, she said to me, maybe you should embark on a Reiki journey. I was like, no. And I was literally laying on my bed one day, and it was like a light bulb went off, and I contacted her and I said, I'm ready. And then she took me through this journey and how to actually deal and heal with myself, become a practitioner as well, and get attuned by her as well, because you have to be attuned.
Yes.
And this may sound weird to many of the listeners right now, but it was like I could feel all my angels and guides going, finally, this crazy person who likes partying, he's also still going to be doing this side of things. So, because I'm not saying I don't go out and party and things. I'm still the person.
Yes.
But then there's this other awareness that has come up. And I think that is when the journey actually completely, it came together in such a way. And there was so much love and support, especially from Shanaz and from other Reiki practitioners. And it just was like, booyakasha. This is it.
All right.
No going back.
All right, awesome. And then you went on to become a Reiki practitioner. What exactly is Reiki? Let's get into that. Explain to us, what is Reiki healing?
So there are lots of technical definitions for Reiki out there. But to summarize it, because I've been told I sometimes speak at too much of a high level of consciousness.
English.
Yes. I don't really bring it down to the people to understand. But
you don't say.
I don't, exactly. In summary, it is a Japanese energy healing technique. It helps with things like reduction of depression, anxiety, and you don't have to touch it. It's about, I can do distant healings. I've got clients in the UK, in the US, in Zimbabwe. It's about connecting with people and helping to transmute discordant energies. There goes the higher consciousness speaking. Transmute discordant energies. You decide for that. But it's about helping people to also become more aware and to heal from past traumas or current things that are happening, or aligning chakras and just helping energy balances being restored. Because we have the ability to do it ourselves, but we do need those people who are conduits, people who can help you and the average Joe out there, or that energy standing in that corner. I won't talk about them now, but they're watching you. And we help that. And it's been documented and been shown that there are people internationally, not in South Africa yet, that are actually even being called into surgeries to hold the energy, to hold the space. And I was thinking about this the other day because I did a very late night healing session for somebody, and I could feel myself going into their heart space and literally opening their heart to clear some things. Now, we're not doctors. We are not, let me just clear that again. We are not doctors, but we can certainly aid and assist, help people with things like depression, anxiety, going back to their past and dealing with things in order to become more awakened.
Sure. Wow.
I paused the word awakened there for the music. I was like, awakened.
And it worked. It was indeed an impactful pause. The word energy came up quite a few times right now in your elaboration of what Reiki is. And it's become a bit of a buzzword, having the right energy, bring the right energy. I like your energy. I don't like your energy. I'm not into negative energy.
Yes.
From the Reiki perspective and all that you've experienced and learned, what exactly is energy?
Out of all the questions I've been asked, that is the question that I was hoping he doesn't ask me this. It is very hard to define the energies, but I was thinking about this morning as I was laying in my bed doing my awakening and thanking everybody for being around me and letting me see another day.
Yeah.
And that is an energy which I've chosen to wake up with.
Okay.
So if you think about it, if you wake up and you literally, that thing, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Yes.
It's like, and you take that energy with you the entire day. So I would basically say, without going to look for definitions or anything, from a real perspective, and energy is a vibration which you carry with you.
All right.
All right. Hence, you can change your energies. Hence, you can choose the environment you're going to be in. You can just, there are many people out there who walk into something and go, oh, I just don't feel right here. That's an energy that you're picking up.
Okay.
So the energy, for example, chakras are energy centers within you. There are 7, well, there are way more than 7, but 7 that we know of.
Okay.
And those are places that can vibrate differently.
All right.
So when you're having a great day, what's happening? You're having a great energetic day. If things are keeping going wrong, whether it's Mercury retrograde or whatever it may be, and it just dampens your energy and you're feeling all like down, that is the energy depletion. So energy is something which you carry with you, but you can also alter. And sometimes you need to just embrace the energy that you're in order to progress to another level.
Okay.
And I know I'm not fully defining energy here. That's because I wanted to remain a buzzword so that people can continue reflecting on what is my energy right now? How am I approaching this? What is my mindset? So a lot about mindset will define the energy you have.
Interesting.
I mean, I could have said, oh, this bloody guy MZ, I don't want to go to his interview.
Yeah.
Why must I be there?
Yeah.
I'm the one doing the interviews normally.
Yeah.
That would be the wrong energy to take. When I saw the efforts and the way you contacted me for the energy vibration raised, and I was like, I'm going to do this.
Oh, man. I'll receive that as a compliment. Thank you very much.
There we go.
Cool. So you touched on, lightly there, on altering the energy, etc. I would like to know, what are the state-altering properties of energy? How do they alter our states exactly?
Yeah. So it can change your mood. It can change the way you speak to people, the way you approach situations. I mean, you have one day where you'll scream angry words at the taxi driver for not sticking to his lane, and there'll be days where you go, oh, well, just another taxi driver doing his thing. Not all taxi drivers, only some of them. So you see there are different approaches. So those are different energies that you've chosen on how to approach.
Yes.
And I'm not a religious person. Just let me clearly state this. Reiki is not religious.
All right.
But you have the power of choice and free will. How are you going to approach things?
Yeah.
Are you going to allow people in your life who are going to affect the way you look at other people? So if I give you an example of something that's happened in somebody's life, are you going to take that on? If you take it on, you're taking on that energy.
I hear you.
So you can pass it on.
Shucks. All right. And then when it comes to the healing aspect, because you've mentioned that is your true calling. At the essence of it, you're a healer, and we all have healing capacity. We're just not attuned to it. How important is energy in that respect? Because we know that when it comes to our holistic well-being, you got to eat well, you got to sleep well, and the sorts. Then where does energy fit into that picture? And of course, Reiki within that as well.
So, yes, eating well, sleeping well. Let's be honest, in the world we're living in today, it's not always possible.
Yeah.
And
I mean, have a look at me.
Yeah, I mean, but you're living your life.
Yes.
You're living a human experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't eat well and all those things, because there are some people out there who eat very well and have the most horrible health.
True.
So you need to understand that everything that you do and everything that you take into your body, I could choose to take a tequila right now versus this glass of water. I know that tequila is going to have a different effect versus the water, but I still choose to take the water. So you got to be able to understand that the energies that you carry with you at all times comes down, and I can feel myself being affected right now for this answer. They're like, answer this differently. But it is, it's about raising awareness and just being conscious about what you're doing with regards to your energies.
Okay.
There was something that I wanted to bring up, and that is one of the most powerful energies. And I think this is what they're pushing me to concentrate on.
Okay, go ahead.
Is definitely love.
Oh, awesome. I love to hear that.
The problem is that society and social conditioning and instant gratification, all these things have changed the idea of what love really is about.
Interesting.
Yes, we're living in a material world and all these things. Just because the world is moving fast doesn't mean we have to. Love has been misinterpreted so much. I mean, I literally love everybody. I love everybody. Every person that's watching this on TikTok right now. Every person listening to this. But it's a different kind of love when you realize that the dimension that we're living in, the love that we understand here is not exactly like the dimension on a fifth dimension or another dimension. The deeper kind of love.
Yes.
I can say to you, because I love you.
Yeah.
And that's the response I get, like, oh my gosh, this guy just said he loved me. What am I going to do? Oh my gosh, how do I do this? Because not everybody understands the true meaning of love.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this really relates right back to the long question you asked me there. And one of the most powerful forms of energy is love.
Yeah.
And that's part of our purpose.
Yes.
To love one another. It's unfortunate that there are bad apples out there that'll misinterpret that and manipulate people and say, oh, I love you. Meanwhile, they just want a sticky on the side, or they want, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to understand that, you have to first learn to love yourself. And learning to love yourself is not easy. There are days where I don't love myself. But the awareness takes me to a point where I go, okay, the reason you're not loving yourself right now is because of this. Okay. So it's a lot about finding that love energy within you before just going out there and saying you love people. Love is the most powerful energy.
All right.
And maybe that's just me and my purpose. Just saying.
I'm going to probe further on that. The essence of it. If you had to define it as per Sunil, what is love? Because you've touched on it and you've taken us a little deep and wide into the understanding of, I'm sorry to put it this way, the concept of love, what it looks like in our day-to-day life, in our relationships with others, and most importantly as ourselves, as you've pointed out. What is love as per Sunil? That's what I'd like to know right now.
Unconditional respect and understanding for another person's journey.
Wow.
So, if, for example, in my very, very special relationship,
yes,
I always talk about me, you, and us. So I am on a journey, you are on a journey,
yes,
and everybody says, "Oh, everybody's on their own journey, bro." But we need to understand where they are on that journey in order to love them as they are.
Wow, that is profound.
Quote me, man, quote me.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about respect. Unconditional. I mean, look at when it's gonna sound weird, but sometimes when I do my cleansing showers daily, I would cry just for the world, or I'd feel very sad when people are disrespecting one another. When I've been recently told about a couple that was having really a horrible time in the way they were speaking to each other, forgetting that everybody is another person's child means you don't know what love is. Whether you're a criminal, a street person, radio presenter, Reiki practitioner, person who likes tequila, whatever it may be. The moment you forget that another person is another person's child, you don't really know what love is.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you very much for sharing that. And I'm thinking, therefore, that love being one of the most powerful energies, if we'll call it that, is something that elevates the vibrations. Is this a real thing that there are high vibrations and low vibrations? The good one are the higher ones. The not so good ones, we'll call them, are the lower ones. And is love one thing that certainly elevates those vibrations?
Absolutely. But it's the understanding of it that does. So if you think you understand love, there are lots of people out there who think they know, or who think they are embracing a healing journey, or who think all these things. Unless you are fully aware and your level of consciousness is there, you're not doing it properly.
Okay.
And that's where we come in.
All right. And to avoid asking too many questions on that one subject, energy, I'd like to know, what have you found to be one of the most common debilitators, if I can call it that, getting in the way of people's healing or in the way of people's awakening or breakthrough? Because we talk about perhaps quote unquote success, however you define it in life, or that big break you need in life, coming down to having the right energy at times, being aligned, etc. And also our health can deteriorate due to energies clogged up in a certain area in our bodies.
Correct.
As we'll say. So what have you found to be the biggest obstacle or debilitators to people actually experiencing freedom in these areas?
Not doing shadow work. In other words, visiting the demons within you that you don't want anybody to see, and loving them unconditionally.
All right.
And then there is just not being ready, not being aware.
Okay.
But one of the biggest influences, I would say, is the fear of unlearning due to social conditioning. So we are, if you imagine the movie The Matrix, there are literally days I feel like I'm Neo. I look at people at an MC gig or out on the road and I'm like, what are these sheep doing? They are sheeple. So being part of the sheeple slows you down.
Okay.
Because you're just, if you think about it, if you hear a bell ring, and it might make you think of school.
Yeah.
What happened when the bell rings?
you
break
rush,
time.
Yeah.
And the bell rings again,
excited,
the break
and then
time.
you get sad and you go back to class.
That is part of social conditioning. It's just an example. So I would say social conditioning, not being ready, and fear. I'll give you a small example. I won't mention her name, but about a year ago, a friend of mine in the industry contacted me, and we went out to an event. She was my +1. We had a long chat, and I said, you need some stuff. And no, you have to get permission as a practitioner to do any form of healing. Okay. And she said, no, man, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah. One of those, I kind of shook ice cream kind of thing. Sorry. It was about 2 months ago, 6:30 in the morning, I get a phone call, and she says, you're right, I need this right now. Wow. So she needed it. Mm-hmm. And I don't go and reach out to people. I let people come to me. Okay. I don't even have a clients list, which is not good, because I let people come to me, and that's it. She contacted me, and then I said to her what we have to do. Mm-hmm. It took her 2 hours to go, I actually cannot face those demons. So it's that stops her. There are many people that have done that. Yeah. I mean, I would think offhand, I can think of 4 people who have Reiki. No, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And then suddenly they would contact me going, Sunil, I am so sorry about this, but please can you help me with this? Wow. And I don't turn anybody away. That's awesome. I don't turn anybody away, but I do sometimes stop a journey. I'll say, right, you've done this much, you've done this enough. Mm-hmm. It's now time for you to go off, and you can come to me when you need me. Okay. So I would definitely inner demons, fear, lack of awareness, and just not being ready. And there are some people out there who have such a great ability to be healers themselves. Yeah. But when they start seeing things or feeling things, not always, it's not always visual. Sometimes it's a feeling like that person who's watching you, and they don't know how to deal with it, and that takes us right back to the beginning of this interview. It's that scary, like, what do I do? For me, I'm like, you just stand there, buddy. You stand there. I know you passed on, and you're still looking over him. It's okay, okay. Right. And you just go with it. Okay. And it's a father figure, by the way. Anyway. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Gosh. Okay. Wow. There's a lot to take in here. And you mentioning that initially people look down on this, or they scoff at Reiki healing or things of this nature, and it's just the nature of your, what can I call it, your calling. Yes. That this is the case. People usually only explore such means of healing once they've explored all the conventional avenues, etc. When they're at their wits' end, that's when they come to you. Do you have perhaps a remarkable story of either someone who used to scoff at it, or someone who had tried all other means to get healing in a particular area, and then eventually came through to you being open to Reiki healing itself and had an exceptional turnaround that even left you taken aback? Yes, me. Okay. I scoffed at it. Right. I was extremely critical. We are a critical society. We are allowed to criticize things. We're allowed to be skeptical about these things. Yeah. So I was very skeptical until I actually embraced it. But when it comes to people I've actually helped on their journey, there are 3 people I can think of who are on the verge of suicide. Wow. Yeah. And I've helped them. And that is huge. With great power comes great responsibility. Yes. And at the end of the day, they did make the choice not to take the steps. Mm-hmm. However, I was still there. All right. And all you can do is be there at the end of the day. All right. I've got a thing I live by, which is when I can, I will. And if you come to me now and say, Sunil, I really need help, I need to do this, and I'll say, okay, let's do a session, blah, blah, and then we do the session, I teach you an infinity breath, I do all these kinds of things, and then you don't come back to me. That is your choice. Okay. Because what also happens is when you come on this journey, you don't just become another random person. You become part of what I call my soul tribe. All right. And you become my responsibility, so there's a lot of space to be held. Interesting. And if you don't come back, it's your thing, and there's nothing I can do about it. So the most successful, the thing that come to mind was suicides, but they were cord cutting. I've helped people with some cord cutting.
All right. Would those be soul ties or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Now, with the cord cutting, people mustn't get confused. When you cut cords, doesn't mean that the person's going to die. It just means they're not going to have as much effect on you.
I see.
The most traumatic and hardest one I did was helping. I was house sitting, and there was a dog that was really ill, and the owners went away, and the dog decides to have the attacks and things while I'm there.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that my purpose was there to help this dog cross over.
Okay.
So I think that was for me the most deepest, and animals on a different dimension altogether. So that was huge. But definitely relationships. There are so many people, especially after COVID, the lockdowns, that have gone through so much awakening when they go, who am I?
Oh, wow.
Why am I married to this person?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So I've been getting a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I've been helping a lot of that. So relationships, the dog, and myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Jokingly, when you arrived, I was speaking to my our production manager, saying, "Hey, this guy has read you already. He's read your energy. He knows what you're about, you know." And he's like, "What? Yeah, he read you. He knows. He didn't say anything to you, but he knows more than you think he does about you." Do you find yourself, are you able to, firstly, and do you find yourself randomly just reading people out of nowhere, sometimes involuntarily as well?
Yes, and I'm going to say this, there's a hashtag going around on one of the social media platforms, TikTok. It's called Tequila Healer.
Oh, really?
Because when I take too many tequilas, I want to go and speak to everybody and go, hey, come here. I want to speak to you. I've got some, hey, look at this guy. I want to speak to you. Your grandmother is looking for you. Why are you not wearing the clothes? No. So it's very hard, and I've actually asked my partner, my life partner, my person, to tell me just to stop. Stop, because you have to have permission for those things.
Yes.
And at that level, it's not always great, and sometimes I can feel them go, hey, here's a bit drunk now.
Yeah,
you're a little bit too drunk now. No.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you're doing alcohol things, it opens your frontal lobe. Things have become more receptive.
I had no idea.
You see demons, you feel things more. So I can go into a room and go, ha. But I didn't read him, but don't worry, I didn't. But okay. you feel the things. But yes, there are moments when sometimes I just go and I'm like, right, I have to tell MZ about the man looking after him. Okay. MZ will know who he is.
All right.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Gosh, and I'm sure that you go really in depth with this in your book, Sunny Motif. You've got a book out. Can you tell us a little more about that? How we can get a hold of that book?
Yeah, so Sunny Motif has actually got nothing to do with Reiki.
Oh, okay.
Sunny Motif is a combination of life, love, and business, and how to merge them all together so you don't live just one of those things.
All right.
It is available on Takealot and Amazon, and it's Sunny Motif. And you can find it online on my website as well. It's about life, love, and business. I've taken quotes that I wrote over 12 years.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to publish this book.
Yeah.
And I now know that there are Reiki practitioners and healers and all these that are using the book. They pray over the book, or they ask a question, they open the book, and then they read a quote to.
Wow.
If it resonates, it resonates.
Okay.
Very blessed to have the University of Johannesburg Psychology Department doing the biggest order.
Wow.
And they did 110 for their students. And it is really a book that encourages people to take bold steps in their life. Mm-hmm. It will resonate with some. For me, it's about the right eyes will see it.
Okay.
And I've written it in such a way that it can appeal to a 9-year-old, which is my youngest reader, to a 78-year-old.
Wow.
So, yeah.
All right, that's Sunny Motif, available on Amazon and Takealot.
Yes.
Great. Got a huge cosign from the psychology department, psychology faculty at the University of Johannesburg. Really, really interesting. Life, love, and business. All right. I'll definitely be getting myself in order. You do have ebook versions per se. Can we get them on Kindle and the likes?
Yes.
Like okay.
So via Amazon, you can get it on Kindle. I mean, I was going to bring you a copy, but I realized I haven't even got any copies anymore. They all would take a lot of Amazon, they're going out there. I'm trying to get them out to more schools and universities, because that I feel is the market to stop their social conditioning from such a so it'll help come down.
I hear you. And this is a conversation that I'm sure many a person would love to continue with you. How do we continue that conversation with you?
Well, you can contact me via my social media platforms. Stay away from Facebook, I was hacked. Twitter, Sunil Osman, TikTok, Sunil.Osman or Sunny Motif. Okay. And every link that you can contact me on, there's a contacts page on my website, which is sunilosman.com.
All right, Sunil. Thank you so much. This has indeed been an insightful and enlightening as well conversation. I mean, I had high expectations, but even those have been surpassed. I'm telling you this, we will definitely be having you in here again. This was awesome. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
Through.
I appreciate it.
Anytime. Sunil Osman. Yes, as I mentioned, actor, MC, radio presenter, but as you heard today, a master Reiki practitioner. Follow him on the socials, Sunil Osman, on all his handles.